Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company Podcast. This is the main show, and we're at number 47. To my right, I've got Levi.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Gates, that's the guy.
Yeah,
and
right.
on my left, I've got Anthony.
What's going on, guys?
Fisher, that's his other name. All right,
Yeah,
so
right,
I'm just trying out a little something new, something a little
Yeah.
fun. Speaking of new things, we are actually going to be creating The Rag Company Podcast channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's some logic to it. Kind of learned this actually from, like, Super Speeders Rob when we were on his podcast. He has his own channel just for the podcast because you find they kind of start to clutter up, like, your other content on the video channel, and people who expect your video content may not be into podcasts.
They may get disappointed
it's an
by our
unfortunate
voices
reality,
on the podcast.
but not everybody wants to see us talk for an hour. There are many who do, and we appreciate all those who do, but just letting you guys know, when we hit episode 50, I think that'll be our first episode where we move over to the new channel.
Yeah.
And,
So if you're used
that's
to
why you won't
watching
see
us
'em.
on the Rag Company YouTube, or on our YouTube channel, just make sure you search for us and subscribe to the Rag Company YouTube podcast.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or
the
Rag Company
name,
Podcast YouTube channel.
The name of the channel will be The Rag Company Podcast. Now, I still have to make it, so I hope that name's available. Nobody goes stealing it yet.
Yeah.
But
Dang it, we shouldn't have said
Dane,
anything.
somebody's going to
Immediately-
go camping on it now
you need
that
to go
I said
grab
it.
that immediately.
I'm going to wait to release
Tim,
this
make that
episode
happen right
until I
now.
have it.
Thank you.
But
So-
yeah, so we'll get that arranged. And early off the bat, it may not have a ton of subscribers, but what we want you to do is once you make it, just go and subscribe. Even if there's nothing on the channel, we'll try and make it so it's live so people can subscribe to it just to get
prepped.
the ball rolling. And then
Yeah.
when we start releasing stuff there, you know, it'll go. But then our regular channel will then be more dedicated to
To the actual, like, our Rag Company videos and
Yeah.
things that you've seen before, you know, our
Yeah.
product demo stuff, our...
and Detox will
Yeah.
remain there. That's a talk show,
Yeah.
but that's a little different because it's more bite size.
Well, so Wash Wednesday Detox, Details with Levi,
All
our
those
trip
things.
videos,
Towel videos.
towel videos, all
All
that
that.
stuff will stay on the Rag Company
Correct. The Rag
channel.
Company podcast channel is exclusively for
Podcast.
podcasts and detox casts.
Okay.
So that'll
basically
be
all the times we sit in this room and
all
talk
of
to
our
people.
all of our long form stuff. So for people interested in that, that's going to be your
All
channel.
right.
Any rate,
Let's get started.
moving on. Okay. So I didn't make a plan for today's episode.
That's all right. Let's just talk.
We're gonna
We'll
free
recap.
will it.
We're going to recap the weekend. So
Yeah.
a lot of you probably noticed on our social media and stuff that Matt Mormon from Obsessed Garage was in town.
What?
We teased it on the first broadcast last week that we were going to have somebody special on. We're going to do a podcast. We're going to do some stuff, but we didn't want to let anybody know. We wanted to make it a surprise. So if you didn't pay attention, that's who was on. So Matt was in town. He went to to Salt Lake to do the Raptor experience, and then did a quick day trip here. Spent Thursday and Friday, half the day Friday with us. Placed a massive order of towels,
You
4
probably saw the
pallets
pictures.
worth. So we got those all set up. We did a couple podcasts, or we did a podcast with him, a very long podcast, almost 2 hours.
Sorry, not to go back on the subject, but what I will say is for the podcast channel, I will upload all the old episodes too, so that everything is available there.
Perfect.
So, yeah, just so people know. So you will find the Obsessed Garage stuff over there too.
So we'll have that on there. And then we did a lot of videos with him. We made just some kind of, it was a kind of different setup. Normally we do like detox and we do some stuff when people come into town, but Matt's a different character. So we literally all sat down at a table in one of the videos and just went over his current lineup of towels and what we thought we could change and fix and why.
Yeah.
And his audience
kind of geek out on that.
are the kind of people who can really appreciate just sitting down and having a discussion about the finer points of microfiber. Like that's definitely something we can all geek out over.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we also, took him around. We went to dinner Thursday night, and then Friday before we left for before he got on his airplane, we stopped at Sensport Graphics, and he got to check out Tyler's place. Those of you remember, Tyler was in a Wash Wednesday a couple times where we did his red M3, and then we also did his Shelby 350 R, the GT 350R.
Yeah.
So if you want, check out the red Wash Wednesday with the M3. That way you can see that and see his
the
shop
M3
again.
has his shop in
because
it.
we did it at his shop. So you can take a look and see what, Matt got to look at, because it is a gorgeous place.
Yes.
There. So he got to check that out. And then he left on Friday, and then we had our weekend. Basically, we got back and then had a couple days, and then Matt
another.
showed up, and it was just a busy week. Felt like we didn't get a lot done. So this week, we're getting a ton of stuff done.
Yeah.
So we're sleeping in every morning. We're coming in late. Wait. You guys aren't doing that? Okay, sorry. So we have a lot to do.
Anthony went to bed early last night. We were texting each other at about 10 o'clock, and he was like, "Okay, let's work, more sleep."
I hid the notifications because I was trying to sleep for once.
But you guys get in later than I do. I went to bed at 1 o'clock and was here at work by 8.
I'm usually up late, but last night I was just conked out. I needed. Once Westworld was over, I was just.
Was it emotionally draining?
It was.
I am still on the 4th episode. I haven't finished. I haven't finished. I've had so much stuff going that I haven't. So don't talk about it.
No, I will not.
So what do you do on Saturday, Levi?
Saturday, well, the Elantra needed a much needed brake upgrade.
Ooh, get those hot brakes.
High performance.
So I was looking. They make a big brake upgrade for the Elantra on sharkracing.com.
This is completely necessary.
You can get the big fancy cross-drilled rotors.
The fact that he's actually
so let me just tell you that those were $1,800 for just the front brakes.
Worth it.
Good God,
right?
man, no.
So I was like,
how can
should
I get together
$1,800? Should I do that? I mean, the car it's worth it on the car.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a track car. We do a lot of driving, hard driving on it.
I can only suspend my disbelief for so long.
So you know what I ended up doing? I surfed around a little more, and I ended up just going to O'Reilly's and getting stock rotors, and getting just some replacement pads.
Because honestly, it was either that.
It was either go big or go home, and I just went home instead. So anyway, I replaced the pads and replaced the rotors on it. So now it stops really well.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that may have been the issue as to why I when I got that rear ending.
Yeah.
I didn't stop well enough.
It was a braking issue.
There was a braking issue that I just didn't. I was already at the limits of that pad, and so I bumped that car.
Man.
So. That stuff's not happening again now.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Thankfully.
So you're just going to get rear-ended from now on.
Hopefully. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Put it in somebody else's hands,
Yeah. But no, so I did that. I took my kids to go see Incredibles 2.
Nice.
Took them to the theater, and we did
fun.
that. So they were great. And we snuck in a ton of treats and Augie's Powerade Zero.
Nice. What's your favorite color? Blue?
He likes the red one.
I love the red. Red's my favorite flavor.
So we took that in, and I kept waiting for someone to stop me because I had his kit filled with treats that he could have, and then his Powerade Zero in another little military pouch that was like a mole attachment pouch.
Nice.
Attached to that, and I was like, I'm just waiting for someone to call me out so I can become righteous on him and be like, my son has diabetes.
Yes.
You don't have any sugarless drinks other than diet soda.
And just make them feel terrible.
Yeah, that was my goal. But nobody said anything, so we walked in and it was fine, and the kids and I just sat and watched the movie.
Humanity didn't let you down.
No, they didn't. They were great.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job, humanity.
So I was going to put it all in a backpack, and then my wife was like, they're probably not going to let you in with a backpack. And I was like, that's true. But I just say there's, diapers and stuff, even though my kids don't need diapers. But
they don't have to know that.
Yeah. But anyway, it was good. We got to see the movie. The kids were great. They were very well behaved. My dad came over towards the end of the afternoon, hung out, played with the kids. They wrestled, all that. Carly emptied out a bunch more totes. We're just trying to get more moved into the house. I feel like we're still not 100% there.
I mean, there are people, those people who move into a house and they still have boxes they never unpacked that are there 10 years later.
Yeah, no, and I've had boxes like that at my old house, but this time I'm really the hardest part is just not being home.
Yeah.
And trying to rebuild momentum. So I get home and I build up momentum, but there's so much other stuff that has to get done. And so I feel like I'm getting the breaks done was one of the things I needed.
We're at a little break period right now for the next week or two. We've got a chance to kind of catch up on things, but after that it's right back to it.
And so I'll be gone again, and it's so I'm trying to get as much done as I can. I've still got lights to replace and things to assemble that my wife, furniture and stuff that my wife gets that I have to put together. And so I spent the weekend doing that. Okay. So that was my weekend. Pretty laid back. Sunday I felt like I was drugged. I just headache, and I slept a little bit. So that was good. Took a nap.
Yeah.
What'd you guys
Are
do?
you looking at me?
Yeah,
Well,
Dane didn't go home.
Dane didn't leave the office.
I ran errands. I went to the office. Wow, this is probably not something I would usually bring up on the podcast, but the fact that it happened so close to home was a little...
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting my neighborhood to be in the freaking news, and not for a good reason. Well, I was
Dane
coming
stayed
home.
here for a reason.
Well, I mean...
He left Liz at the house for a reason as well.
He left Liz and his dog at the house, and he came here where it was
I knew
safe.
this was going to happen.
What happened?
So,
Let the people know.
Okay, so I'll just chart out my day to kind of explain how I had no idea what was going on. Basically, my Volvo had the check engine light from when I changed the spark plug, and it was still on even though I fixed it. So I went to go get one of those little code readers from Harbor Freight. Just figured I'd pick up one of those, just be handy. So I went out to the store, got that, and then I thought, I got some work I got to do at work. So I came to the office here, and I started just editing some more video, work on the travel video. And, a few hours go by, and then it was like, I don't know, like 3:30, 4 o'clock, something like that. And I'm like, okay. So driving home, and I get to my neighborhood, and it was right as I'm on
now,
a cul-de-sac.
mind you, it's like 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, by the time I was getting there,
3:34.
it was close to 5.
Okay.
But basically...
daylight.
But I'm in a neighborhood, this is a very quiet neighborhood. We're across the street from like
very
a middle
suburban.
school.
You're a very suburban neighborhood.
Super suburban. And it's grown up a ton. Like, the population's increased a lot since I
And in
first
like a
moved.
90s neighborhood. Like, not an old like
80s,
city.
90s.
Like, this is a planned community.
Yeah. But not like, ritzy planned. It's just, it's a neighborhood.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm just turning off from where the school is, going up the main road, and then there's a street, and then there's my cul-de-sac. Mine's like the second cul-de-sac in. So as I'm getting up to the first street I have to turn on to so that I can turn on to one of the cul-de-sacs, all of a sudden I'm looking, there's a bunch of cop cars around. I mean, a bunch. Like, there was probably 5 or 6 on the street here. And at first I'm like,
You're like, what happened to my dog?
I don't I'm very confused because I'm looking around, and then I see a plainclothes officer get out of an unmarked car. He's got a badge on, and he's walking over, and I'm in my Miata, my convertible, so usually it's pretty easy to start conversations with people, but he kind of looked a little busy, so I didn't want to interrupt him, and I just look over and I'm like, something happened here, because there's police tape crossing off the road, and I'm like, I can't get to my freaking house, and they block off like a whole chunk of the street with the first cul-de-sac. I'm in the second one. I didn't know the police tape was actually only going to after that first cul-de-sac, so I just went around in the hopes that maybe I could get in. I was able to get in, so I was like, oh, okay, at least it's not taped off by my house, but at the same time, you're like, something happened here. So I get home, and one of my neighbors is out walking around, so I asked her, I was like, do you have any idea what's going on over there? What happened? And then he basically explained that apparently somebody who had moved into this house, I'm trying to think, it's probably half a year ago, 2 years ago, somewhere around there, because I used to know the people who lived in the house at this particular
6 months or 2 years?
No, a year.
Okay,
6 months to a year.
Okay, you said half a year.
No, I'm
2
trying
years.
to
I was like, what?
Because there was a guy.
I'm just waiting to get to
a guy and his wife.
kicker.
A guy and his wife who used to live in this house.
Yeah.
They used to get detail supplies from me, so I would give him, because he was a detailer and stuff. I was like, okay, yeah. So I would hook him up occasionally with some stuff because he's my neighbor. I'm like, here, try this towel out. Super nice guy, but then they moved away about a year ago, and then these folks moved in, and that's why I'm not sure.
Okay, so it's not this family.
So I don't know who the
in.
people are who moved in, but I always notice weird patterns. They always leave their garage door open. There's always a car in the driveway, and they're always vacuuming it out like they're a private car service or something. At least that's what I like to think. Yeah. But anyway, sketchy things went down. So apparently there was like a domestic disturbance that was called in,
warranted enough to call the police.
This guy was apparently I don't know if they're
apparently
husband, wife, estranged, girlfriend, boyfriend, something. But they were older. They were probably like in their 40s, 50s, something like that. I'm not saying you're old, but
that's cool. Thanks.
But compared to me, so I know I'm really dragging this out. Basically, there was a stabbing and then a shooting. So
yeah. So
I'm
what?
Just gonna cut right to it.
Yeah. So they said that there was a domestic disturbance involving a knife. Mm-hmm. The police were called.
Yeah.
The suspect that had the knife.
Yep.
Literally said,
I'm not going back to jail.
And pulled a gun from his waistband.
Yeah, he was pulling it out of his waistband. And the officer, one shot him and one tased him.
Yep.
So I mean,
I wonder if it both happened at once. Like, I wonder
do you wonder if the taser cop thought, like, dude, we're supposed to pull our tasers out.
Yeah.
Why did you pull your gun out, Steve?
I know this is going to rile up some commenters who have a lot of opinions about police matters, but at the same time,
but just the fact that it happened a block from your house.
Yeah, the fact that
the next street
it wasn't even a block. Like I have like a direct line of sight to their garage from my backyard, looking over the houses that are in my.
Should have been out in your backyard gardening when you heard that pop.
You should have been filming for a viral video, Dane.
Yeah, because I just know. Apparently, this all happened at noon, so I didn't get home until
it happened
5.
at like noon, middle of the day on a Saturday afternoon on nice weather.
It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day on Saturday,
and that guy died.
Guy died.
But no, Liz was.
Did she hear anything?
She had headphones on. She was playing a game, so she didn't even know.
Yeah. So you're like freaking out because there's somebody that died. Like
she's like
I got home and I'm like
10 feet away from your house, and
she's like playing World of Warcraft, and she goes like hit somebody with her sword. And she's like, "That's the weirdest sword sound I've ever heard."
It's actually it's actually Overwatch now.
Oh,
but
Overwatch.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that. But
she was hearing gunfire, so she was fine.
But like my dog is really sensitive to fireworks and stuff like that, so I thought she would have been panicked, but apparently it must not have been that loud when it happened because my dog Callie, she was actually totally fine. She wasn't freaked out.
One shot?
Probably.
It was. My guess is usually when the cops shoot, they shoot multiple times, probably like 3 times or something.
I don't know. The other guy tased him, so.
But I know this is a detailing podcast. But basically, just the fact was,
this happened.
The guy
50
died,
feet from your house.
Yeah, not very far away. And to put it in perspective, the last time the police shot anybody in Meridian was 2012. So it's been a while.
Yeah, we used
it's not a common
say
thing
like
by
our
any means.
Police forces in Boise and Meridian have done really good in their training to try and not do that.
Lethal methods.
Because for a while, for those of you that don't know, Boise had a pretty bad reputation of police officers.
The 90s?
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. They would... let's just say they'd shoot first, ask questions later, and you never wanted the cops to pull their guns because they would unload a clip and hit the person once.
See, I didn't live here at the time, so I didn't know about that.
Oh, it was, it was to the point it was a running joke. Like, you didn't want the cops to pull out their guns because they caught the foothills on fire, if you remember. Late
We're
90s,
going to get in so much trouble on this podcast.
Stuff, so.
I'm just squirming.
Anyway, BPD and Meridian Police, so Boise Police Department, Meridian Police Department, we like you guys. You're great people, and you are doing a great job in their training now.
We have customers who are.
Yeah, because it was bad for a while, and it was only a few bad police officers that got put in the wrong situations. But needless to say, that the fact that it happened so close to your house is
alarming.
very surprising. Dane sent us
the
news article. So this happened to me today. It was like, whoa, holy cow.
Because when you're looking at the screenshot, I'm like, that's my street.
And we live in a very safe city.
Yeah,
it's you know, I mean, short of your car getting broken into, but that's because you guys live in the ghetto in Meridian. So
yeah, Jesus,
I'm just kidding. Meridian's not a ghetto. Like,
man,
Meridian's like the second.
It's the largest growing city in
I was gonna say the population
country.
In the last
it's like one of the top 10 cities in the U.S. to live in.
In the last not even 10 years, the population went from 20,000 to 100,000 plus.
Yeah.
So that city has grown up a lot.
Stop moving here. We don't have any more room. Stop it.
And then you get all these guys who are all mad because people are moving here. I'm sorry. My property values are great, but I feel bad for other people. I'm super excited
because I live in southeast Boise, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. But at any rate, I wasn't trying to make this into a whole political thing.
No,
because I know
you never made it. You never made it into political. You were explaining what happened in your neighborhood. So
the fact was that happened very close.
Yeah.
So
what'd you do, Anthony? You took
you did some things.
I also saw The Incredibles 2.
Nice.
So, and it's funny because, Katie, like my fiance, super pumped about it, right? She's like, I can't wait to go see Incredibles 2. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, you child? Like how old are you, right? And she's like, well, because then I asked her, when was the last Incredibles movie? I'm thinking like
14 years ago.
I was thinking like 5 years ago. I had no idea it was 14 years ago, right? And so I did the math. I'm like, 14 years ago, you would have been 11 years old. So that makes sense, right? You know, she was a fan of it as a kid, right?
Well, a lot of people have wanted a sequel to that for a long time.
14 years ago.
14 years ago, I was 14, but I was way better than that stuff. I was
24.
I was watching Dragon Ball Z and things like that. So basically...
Yeah, I remember my wife and I rented it.
Yeah.
Tim, our editor, just told us he was 5.
Yeah. So Katie was super pumped about it. We went and saw it. It was a good movie. It was a good
was
one.
fun.
And after that, though, so Saturday, did a lot of stuff with the dogs. Kind of gave them a lot of attention and things like that since I'd been gone prior in the week.
You did like what I did to my children. Took them to the Incredibles and showered them with gifts and affection. Pretty much. That's pretty much how it all happened.
And so I cleaned up the fiance's car, cleaned up my car, the Civic, put some bead maker on Katie's car, and so on the black, it looks so good. It looks really, really good.
And that's one that's not corrected.
And it's not corrected. It looks horrible. Like, well, I mean, in a detailer's eyes, it looks horrible, but to her, it looks great. And I kind of had to stand back from like a third person perspective and say, that looks pretty good for what it is. And I was noticing those. I was cleaning up her car. I was going and wiping off the O&R, and I was looking, and I'm like, Katie, your car is half of it is a water spot. And she's like, yeah, the sprinklers come on every day at work, and I just didn't think it was that big of a deal. And it is so bad to where like I can't even. It was a new car. It's a 2017. It's a new car. Just half of it is a water spot now. So, and there's no point in me fixing it. No. I will just throw some stuff on it, make it shiny.
Well, yeah, because you'll fix it. You'll spend a weekend getting it perfect.
It's not worth it.
She's going to take it to work, and the sprinklers are going to come on again.
It's not worth it. She doesn't have the same thought process.
Yeah,
that I have.
You'll just have to clean it before you get rid of it.
Yeah. So I did that. Everything turned out really good. I ended up using some of the Rennie Doyle from the Double Black, the tire shine, what they call the Shine All, which is water-based dressing. Love the way that looks on the tires.
We've ordered. We're going to have on the site pretty soon.
Yeah. So if you're fans for people, this is like a good reference for people that are fans of Meguiar's 40 and like the way that look and feels, and as far as the durability of a water-based dressing, then you're absolutely going to love the Shine All. It's basically has a little bit more a little bit of a darker look to it, especially on tires. A little bit more of a satin finish.
Well, and you can use it on the interior. So for those of you that actually want to have there are people that love dressings on an interior, on their leather, on their like it doesn't matter what they just like. And I've had customers that were like, "Oh, did you do anything to the they expect
it."
Yeah. So that's something that we are carrying because we haven't had something like that.
It is, like I said, it's more of a satin finish. It's not completely matte. It's more of a satin finish. So you're getting a little bit more of that, a little more sheen, but not your Armor All standard of sheen.
Once again, it's a personal preference thing. I'm always a big fan of the satin, the low sheen stuff that looks clean, but it doesn't look crazy shiny, because I don't want to feel like I stick my arm on it and then it feels like I applied sunscreen because I got so much grease.
Well,
like when you do
the other
that,
thing though too is that a lot of the interior cleaners that are out today that have the built-in UV protection and have that natural look, honestly, it looks like you just took water and you wiped it off. It doesn't look any different, right? It looks exactly the same.
It doesn't impress the layman quite as much.
Exactly. Yeah. So where this comes into play, being a water-based dressing, you can use it on interiors, you can use it on tires. I personally love using it on tires and exterior things like mud flaps and whatnot, because it's not going to break it down like if I were to use like an aerosol can or anything like that.
Or something with silicone or something.
Exactly. So
or petroleum.
Ended up using that stuff. Had a good time cleaning that up, and then on Sunday I had my second Grom crawl of the year. Took my Honda Grom up with 17 other Groms up to a place called Idaho City, which is
little mining town up the hill from me.
It's considered like to be a historical town that we have.
It
here,
was the original capital.
Now it's like a bunch of day spas, right?
It's one day spa. But I tell people that Idaho City, it's a cool place to check out because it's like 30 years, 40 years in the past. People are still like half the roads are still dirt there. People typically just ride around on ATVs and UTVs as their main mode of transportation, and the shops there are really. I don't know how to describe it. They have
it's not like people are like, ooh, it's a quaint mountain town. No, it's an old mining town.
Yeah.
And it is it's pretty wild. It's still like Wild West up there. It's kind of white trash, kind of off the grid.
People who aren't from Idaho, when you say you're from Idaho, this might be what they picture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, walking around, like we parked our Groms and we go out there. There were some guys sitting on a porch and they just had their gun on the table, right? Just no big deal. Just had their gun on the table, and I was like, oh, that might be intimidating to some people from out of town, right? But that I
Here
know
it's
that
just
that's,
kind of a
that's how
and
it
see,
is.
like my retirement plan is get land up there, build a cabin, live. Like so close to town still, to Boise, that I almost, when we were in the house hunting phase, Carly and I literally were like, Middleton or Idaho City?
He'll slowly start to grow a beard, put on coveralls, and he'll become Uncle Jesse.
Yeah.
That's my goal. not to be Uncle Jesse, but to have coveralls. Then when I retire, I'm going to wear coveralls my whole,
That's
like
good.
a boiler suit.
But no, Idaho City, lots of really cool twisty roads.
It's a beautiful
on the way
drive.
there. The drive is absolutely scenic. It's beautiful. It's got you have a river that follows you through the whole entire way.
Yeah.
And so it's a really great ride on the Groms. It's a blast because you're not breaking any speed limits. You're really pushing those bikes. You're pinning. You have it pinned basically.
There's some good turns on the roads going down the hills after that. Yeah.
Well, and you had an army with you.
And I had an army of Groms. It sounded like basically a swarm of bees going up this mountain, and it was just the funniest, cutest thing in the world because people see us and people loved it. We had an awesome reaction from everybody because it's
like a scooter gang, but way more badass.
Yeah, well, it's like you have there's your Harley group, right? You have a big gang of Harleys, and you feel intimidated. It's a bunch of big guys tatted, have Harleys, biker gang type of feel. Whereas when you see a bunch of Groms, it's like, is it a bunch of little kids? No, those are 20, 30-year-old people on these little baby bikes.
I do really would like to get a Grom at some point.
I think
it'd be fun.
Having fun.
It's Anthony's mission to convert everyone.
Oh,
to
I know.
Grom
And he's working. Like Carly's talking about wanting to get a scooter, and I'm thinking I wouldn't mind a Grom.
You can ride two up on the Grom too, and you can go putt around town with her. But so we did that, had lunch up there, rode back down. It was really fun. We had some random guy. When we got back down to the bottom of the hill, we parked and kind of hung out in the grass and talked with everybody. A random guy comes out of the liquor store without a shirt on, saying that he wants to show us his wares. He goes and grabs
that always ends well when you hear that
bag, and he brings it over. He grabs a beer, sits down, dude, shirtless, just sitting there. And
this is setting up camp.
He's setting up camp, and this is weird because this isn't like a really common occurrence. And he pulls out all these handmade woven tassels and keychains and things like that. And he has these things called monkey balls, which are what bikers have. It's a steel ball wrapped in this material that you swing, and you can break mirrors and windows and things like that.
I used to play Road Rash. I know.
And he's thinking we're a bunch of like biker gangs that are going to go destroy things. I'm like, guys, we're on Groms. Like we're innocent.
We can't get away.
Yeah, the Shriners were a biker gang.
We can't. Yeah. We top these things out at 60 miles an hour. But after that, we went and did some wheelies. We did some some fun hooligan stuff. It was just cool seeing people's reactions with how many we had. But yeah, after that though, came home, prep my meals for the week and things like that. I'm going to try to get back on some type of diet
we gained a ton of
sort.
I don't know about you guys, but I gained a ton of weight on this last trip.
I gained like 5-6 pounds of weight that I don't think's coming off.
I was like, we got home and I hit that scale and I was like, oh, it's the heaviest I've ever been.
It's been bad ever since we got from Rupa's for me.
Well, we got lazy. We did really good, and then we got really lazy, and we had this like bam, 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 travel and trips and stuff. And
it's hard. Let's talk about that for a second. So let's just going into like the health perspective of things, and this could be for detailers.
Well, we hear people that talk about road food
or other industry people and things like that, and it's hard to deny. We go out to dinner. We go out to dinner with Rupes. We go out to dinner with Matt Mormon. We do this stuff. We want to enjoy our time. We want to have fun, right? And eat some good food, right? But at what point do you say, no, like I think I'm going to get a salad, right? You go to a barbecue place, right, with the best barbecue in the world.
You wanted seafood Fantasia.
I wanted the seafood Fantasia, right? But I'm saying, like, when do you say, hey, I need to back this off? And this could be for anybody in the detailing industry, that whether you're going out to dinner every night with your wife, your girlfriend, whatever it could be. At what point do you say, I know this is an experience, but I really need to really watch it. And I need to say and basically come to the realization that this is just a meal. This is something that's giving me energy.
If you think about it, when you go on a road trip, it's the first thing you do. You stop at the gas station.
Grab snacks.
You grab snacks.
Horrible food.
You grab snacks.
Dane, gummy bears are not horrible food. They're a beautiful thing. I know.
But you're grabbing.
Dare you to look
you're grabbing snacks, right? So even if you started the morning like we did at 7:30 in the morning, getting in a car, we could technically have eaten breakfast, lunch and dinner and been sensible.
Yeah.
But for some reason in your brain, when you get in a car and you're going to drive, you're like, I should have gummy bears and gummy worms for breakfast.
You become 5 years old.
Dane's like, my stomach's starting to hurt.
Dude,
I've
that's my
drank
favorite. So
5 energy drinks and meat sticks.
So Dane's telling us, he's like, yeah, guys, my stomach's upsetting me. We're like, oh, sorry. So we go to the gas station. Everybody goes to the bathroom, and we come back out. And I'm like, all right, Dane, you feeling better? And I look back there. Dane has 4 energy drinks and 2 giant Slim Jims. And I'm like, Dane...
Which, by the way, I never get, but for some reason I felt compelled because I felt like I was missing out. Everybody else was enjoying this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this seems like a logical time to get it.
No, but I'm the same way. I was getting
good. It didn't look
red
good.
licorice and nibs and cookies and but I think it's just human. We're driving. We have to have stuff to snack.
To have things,
and
right.
I think we were exhausted.
Yeah.
So we were just eating sugar and food to like keep us awake and alert and try and keep us into that.
Part of it is basically as soon as I get home, I won't be able to have any of this. So
yeah.
I'm having it now.
True, and that hits also. But yeah, no, I'm back on the fat burners to try like just get rid of some of this thyroid medication. Just to like, I gotta like detox. Yeah. So I'm chemically detoxing my body at the moment. But like I noticed, so when we got home, like I was at 200.
Yeah.
That's the heaviest I've ever been.
He says that like it's a lot.
I know. I'm like, dude, get out of here. Dude,
right?
200. I'm like,
I've dropped 8 pounds in this last week.
Oh, really? That's good.
Just
that doesn't
clearing
sound healthy.
Clearing myself out
he's like,
with
I've
the
just
fat
been
burners.
Drinking Diet Pepsi,
and fat burners and fruit.
Feeling good.
Part of a balanced diet.
Yeah, no, but it was to get like, because I'm the same way. I'm like, I've never been that heavy. Now, mind you, when I got married to my wife, I was 136 pounds.
Yeah, that's a tiny little
5'10", 136 pounds.
Not a big guy.
I had a thyroid problem. I had a thyroid issue where
it's
I was super. Yeah, I was overactive, so I would literally.
So it's basically the opposite
everything.
of everybody else who says they have a thyroid problem.
Yeah, no, mine was like overactive.
Okay.
So I would run. My heart rate would run really fast.
Yeah.
Like, it was like
good.
Well, it's like you on 4 Red Bulls, where your heart gets a little. You're like, ooh, feel a little hot here. That's how my heart would be.
About? Red Bull's delicious and nutritious.
Hospital?
Yeah, but that's how I felt. But everything I would eat, my body would just like incinerate it.
Yeah.
It was super fast burning. So I never gained any weight. I'd eat 7,000 calories a day, and I never gain any weight.
But at some point, it started to catch up with you.
Well, you start having issues. Your body starts, you put excess years on your heart and do a bunch of stuff. So I had that killed, and instantly I gained 40 pounds. So I've always run about 160 to 175.
Yeah.
Right? Then I get my desk job.
Yeah.
I'm out of the field.
Uh-oh.
I bump up. I'm now.
So you're blaming us for this?
Yeah. So now I'm 185, 190 because I'm hanging out at a desk all day. I'm eating snacks. You know,
we know it looks like he's detailing in the videos, but in reality, he leaves that and he goes back to his desk.
To the guys that are in the shop working all day, when it's hot and it's 100 degrees in your shop and you're working and you're sweating, it's basically a sauna. It's basically a sauna, and you're sweating all that. You're losing weight that way. In the summer, Matt and I would like just sweat weight off. And we'd lose a lot of weight in the summer because we would just sweat all this water out of us. So I don't have that anymore.
Right.
So that's me. I mean, you're the same way. Like you said, bodybuilding.com, it was almost like a different... You almost wanted to work out anyway because you could at work and you had supplements. And
well, so there, just to give everybody an example, growing up as a kid, I was always a bigger kid. I was like, I think I was 160 pounds when I was in 7th grade. You know, and I think going up into high school, I was always sitting around like 180, 185. Not good weight though. Like it's not muscle or anything like
chubby
that.
Kid.
Like kind of chubby, but like not. It was more like unathletic, kind of like not quite fat, but not quite skinny type of thing. I don't know how to describe it. Just extra mass that didn't really make sense. But I the way I wear my shirts, it made it look like I had more muscle or something like that. I'd squeeze, suck everything in.
It's just doughy.
But because there's three different body parts, right? So you have your ectomorph, you have your endomorph, and you have your mesomorph. And so your ectomorph is somebody that's considered a hard gainer, somebody that has a really fast metabolism but can't gain muscle to save their life, right?
That was me.
And then you have your endomorph, right? Your endomorph is somebody that can gain muscle really fast, but can also gain fat really fast.
That's me now after my thyroid.
So that's somebody that just can put on weight without, no issues putting on muscle, no issues, but putting on just general fat, which is really hard. And then you have your mesomorph, and your mesomorph is those freaks that we know in life. It's a very small percentage of these people exist, but who are blessed, who are. Those are the people that were ripped, in high school, right? Didn't do anything, played sports, they just got more and more ripped, and those are the people that can eat what they want, do what they want, and just look generally muscular, right? Yeah. Those are a lot of those guys that you'll see out working, field jobs, or they're out doing things like that to where...
And they're just always shredded, and you're like...
And they're the ones who make you think, life's not fair.
Yeah, life's not fair, right? Those people who just...
See them walking around airports at Newark.
Yeah.
Newark Airport. You're like, damn.
I'm like Chris Hemsworth. Hello.
Only I can look like that guy.
Yeah.
But he'd be a great example as well. So there's those three different body types, and so people fall in different things. And I'm definitely an endomorph where I can gain fat. I can gain muscle really fast, but I can gain fat really fast. And it's kind of not ideal. And so at bodybuilding.com, working there, all sorts of different body types and things like that. But it was one of those things to where, you're constantly surrounded by supplements, healthy people, healthy food, which is a big thing, right? So if we had like a big snack day or a big day where somebody brought in a bunch of treats, you would go on the table and then there would be fruit, protein bars, chicken, like things like that are all lean. There'd be salad bars. There would never be pizza or anything like that. That would be for like the IT people in the basement, and they would keep that away from everybody else. They would they would hide in their shame. But it was one of those things where it was motivating, but it was also kind of the norm. So everybody always felt like, yeah, I can work out. So even the people that weren't in great shape still look better than most people walking around on the street, right? They still looked great because they were implementing some type of healthy.
They weren't surrounded by a constant buffet of bad choices.
Yeah, and that's the other big thing too. I mean, you have to think about it. In the 9 hours of your day, your work day that you have, in those 9 hours, what are you surrounded by, right? If you can take out that 9-hour chunk of your day, and and that is not filled with temptation like bad food or anything like that. That's 9 hours of your day. You're going to go home with another, 6 hours, 7 hours before you go to bed. You've taken out half of the bad out of your equation, right? Yeah. Whereas if you're surrounding yourself with bad for that first 9 hours and then going home to more bad, right? Yeah. There's no...
Well, and that's like my favorite thing is, so one thing that is fun about our new house, that was one thing that Carly and I always wanted, something we set up, it was we want to build a theater in our house. And so... that's what we built. My favorite thing to do is to sit on the couch, this massive couch that we bought that has like a slide out and some other stuff. And I want to eat potato chips and ranch dip. And I just want to sit.
Do you like Ruffles with ridges?
Yeah. Well, we don't eat Ruffles. We do the Lays, wavy Lays.
Ooh, okay.
He says that like Ruffles it's a crime.
Well, Ruffles are a little too...
We don't do Ruffles.
Ruffles are a little too oily.
Oh, okay.
And so
maybe that's why I like them better.
I'm kind of a Ruffles guy.
I like
dip,
Ruffles, but I really like the wavy Lays. And then we do sour cream. We just buy sour cream, and then we buy the ranch packs.
Yeah,
and pour those, and then
ranch packs,
and then mix up our own ranch dip because I like it a little thicker. And we just go sit up on the couch and.
But then what is your So you sit there with a bag of chips.
Kill a bag of chips.
So
between the two of us.
Kill the whole thing.
Yeah, me and Carly will kill that bag, and usually that entire container is sour cream.
So I mean, just to give you.
But we get light sour cream.
So just to give you a reference, though, so you kill a bag of chips, you kill a whole thing of you kill a whole thing of sour cream. Realistically, what would be a healthy portion of that, right? If you were just to break it down, you would probably get about 6 to 10 chips, and probably 2 tablespoons of that.
Exactly,
and that would be it.
And I know those numbers because I have to do that for Augie.
Yeah.
So I have to go off serving size. I have to give him serving size. And then I usually have to cut those numbers in half based on how much he's going to eat so I can check out how many carbohydrates he's taking in because that's the number we have to check. So I learn oh, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, because you don't want to spike
So,
him.
well, yeah, we don't want to spike him, but I also know like what's super high, and then I'm like, I'm going to kill this bag of chips. Like, even though I know like I am exceeding the serving size. And I do that at 11 o'clock at night while I'm watching TV, and then I go to bed.
What's your what's everybody's like guilty pleasure? Like maybe like a food to where no matter what, like you can't say no to it.
So for me, peanut butter M&Ms, and Boom Chicka Pop, the kettle corn, I will just annihilate. Yeah, like that. I can't stop. Yeah, it's weird.
That's not bad. The popcorn's not so bad.
Yeah, I know, but I'll eat a whole bag of a big bag of M&Ms. Yeah, peanut butter M&Ms.
Dane, what's your 2 things that you just can't say no to?
I really try not to buy them, but every once in a while I'll go to Winco and I'll get Gushers because I still love Gushers.
You dog, Gushers. Wow. That's a weird one.
That's a callback right there,
just,
bud.
If they're there, man, and I see them, it's like $5 and you
get
like 40 pouches, and it just and to your point about chips, like you guys get a big bag of chips. I try and train myself, just get the party pack with the small bags, and then you only eat one. But you and I both know.
You get the party packs, you get like 3 or 4, and you set them on your lap.
And you go, this'll do, and then you sit on the couch, and next thing you know, great, you're a fat ass.
Well, half the bag's just air, so I understand.
Yeah, but still.
Oh, I got to show you guys. I took a video of my couch so you can see the majesty that it is.
Good. No, I'd say mine. Donuts. When you put a donut in front of me, I literally can't.
Yeah, I'm a donut guy too.
I can't say no to it.
I feel like I'm a connoisseur of donutry.
Yeah.
So like I can eat lots of different donuts, and I like to try different donuts. So it's hard for me to.
Donuts,
same
like
way.
when they're around me, right? I can't say no to it. Like, your mom can bring you donuts, and I can't say that I won't have a bite because I will.
Well,
so it's hard for me.
On my birthday, your mom buys me the big donut,
the donut cake, and I
gives me this
I think
monster
I ate half of your
and then
donut
like
cake.
a dozen donuts for the employees.
But so that, and then going out to eat though is another hard part for me. So when I go out to eat somewhere, I like 9 out of 10 times I will buy the chicken wings and like spicy chicken wings.
You are like a chicken wing
I'm a
fiend.
chicken wing guy. Like I don't know why, but like if for example, we travel across the country, right?
That is your
thing. I see they have chicken wings. I'm like, I wonder what those are like, and I really want those. But I'm always torn because chicken wings are often an appetizer, right? So I'm like, nobody else is getting appetizers.
You guys missed out on some wicked wings when we were in New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. Phil took us to that restaurant, 14th and Hudson.
Well, we were working in a hot garage.
You know what
I was doing
had
business,
that night when we were working for Rob's
I was
thing?
doing
we
business
had
development.
BK.
Yeah.
BK Lounge.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. And there was no chicken wings involved there. So.
Because we were kind of in a hurry.
There was some really nice ones to the point that Phil bought like 5 plates of sweet and spicy chicken wings.
Let's go ahead and move on from here before
I know. I feel like
really
we're
missed
just
out on that.
Go down
it was really delicious. But anyway, so so your donuts,
chicken wings,
Gushers.
Your Gushers, and what else?
What else? Probably anytime.
What's the one thing that's bad that you do every night?
We don't want to talk about that on here. We don't want to.
No. Basically,
because me, it's
snacks,
chips.
It's chips.
Chips and ranch is what we do every night.
I always have chips in my house. Gushers is like maybe a once every month.
That's like me. Peanut M&Ms and
but if they're there,
and the kettle corn,
they're gone, man. They're gone if they're there.
Yeah.
And you don't have donuts every night. What's your
donuts every night?
What's your nighttime snack thing like? Chill out,
man. Like, the hard part is that I'm typically like I don't buy bad food. I always buy good food. Katie buys bad food. Right?
Oh yeah, sure. Put it on her.
No, she does. She's horrible.
Just throwing her under the bus today.
Wow.
She's that
Katie.
person that I mentioned. She's like a mesomorph. She's a person that can gain muscle, but doesn't gain weight, and so she can eat whatever she wants. But so when I open the pantry, I see my stuff, and I see things like canned beets, canned like vegetables, unflavored rice cakes, and things like that. And then I look over at hers, and I see chips.
Canned beets.
It's the Shadowland, Simba. We don't go there.
She's like Chips Ahoy. She has like the Nature Valley bars that are that fall
super
apart
carby
when you bite into them.
Super carby.
She has just all these things, and so whenever I open up her side, I steal her cookies. I steal her snack pack puddings. She has a ton of those snack pack puddings.
She's probably listening right now.
I don't care. She knows.
But what you turned me on to, that's something that I I need to build a big bowl of it because like I can't handle the little cups.
Yeah.
Is the sugar-free JellO?
Oh yeah,
We got those for Augie, and then with whipped cream.
Yeah.
Because that's super.
One of my favorites when I was on
it's
keto.
Zero. It's almost like a zero carb.
It's a 0 calorie, 0 carb thing.
And so we give it to Augie because it's a freebie.
It's guilt
So
free.
for diabetics and type 1, it's a freebie. Anything under like 5 grams of carbs for Aug, he can have as much as he wants. So we give him that instead of like ice cream or frozen yogurt or something. And so that's what he eats because that's great. So I tried one of those. I was like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is like the greatest thing I've ever had. I need to make sugar-free JellO, like a big bowl of it, and then put a ton of whipped cream.
When you're on diet brain, that is the greatest thing.
Oh, it's so good.
And just make a giant salad bowl of it, just huge.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Go to town. But
anyway,
so moving on. So we have other
But anyway,
plans.
so we should probably restart our diets.
Yeah.
And try and get on something.
Listeners were actually in on that.
Yeah, they were mad because we never. Basically, Dane won.
There's no closure.
He beat us all.
But see, that's just me being Mr. Morph over here. I can gain it, I can lose it. So
yeah. So we should probably start over and see and do a little longer. Maybe see what we could do before SEMA. Maybe we could all be. What if we were all ripped by SEMA? Oh my God,
that would be sick because Vegas has the pool parties. Like,
I was just saying, maybe I wouldn't be totally embarrassed by a pool.
We were all like taking our shirts off and like, we don't need booth babes. It's just us.
I'm gonna wrap myself up in a Dry Me a River, and people are gonna be like, "What towel is that?" I'm like, "This is actually a towel you can pick up at the rag company," and we're gonna start targeting a whole different audience there.
Yeah,
Vegas pool clubs and
he's just making eyes at everybody. And
no, it'd be great.
So we can probably start. Let us know if you guys are interested in starting another challenge, and we can figure out.
This time we'll like hold ourselves accountable, and like we need to have a prize. And
it
then,
won't
like,
just be for a month. We're gonna make
something bad for the loser.
We need to make this like honestly
actual punishment.
Like let's do like we did a month last time. That was easy, right? Let's do like a 2-3 month thing.
Okay, so
should we start it in August?
The loser at SEMA has to run the booth by themselves for a whole 2 months.
I don't know if we could. That would suck.
That would suck. That would be.
That's why it's a suitable punishment.
Yeah,
it has to be something like I think like a financial thing. Like,
I think we'd have to put money into it.
Money motivates
on
me.
The table.
And if we did something to where maybe we all pitch in on something that we all would potentially want.
Well, cash is always good.
And cash
make
is
it
like we set out. We all put in it's $100 to the winner or something.
I would absolutely do $100.
We all throw in like $33, and then the loser
I'm a little
has to
scared
pay like.
I feel like Anthony would totally kick my butt there.
And then the loser would actually have to pay like $50 or something.
When there's money involved, like I will be very I'll be very strong.
Or the loser has to pay like
parts.
So the winner gets. We all put money into the kitty. The winner would get like $100.
Yep.
And then the loser has to pay another $100, $50 to the other two.
That just seems.
I was just thinking we can just all put in $100 and the winner wins.
Yeah, I was thinking the winner wins $300 and everybody else is out $100.
Yeah, I think that's
all right,
easy.
That works.
$300 is pretty motivating. So we'll technically win $200. But
for any sanctioning bodies listening, we're not gambling.
Yeah. So we'll start that here soon. We'll figure out a date. We'll keep you guys.
We got to get ourselves. I've got UK, and then we've got the OG trip with barbecue.
That's going to be hard. So for a lot of people that don't know, so we are going back down to Rupes in Colorado
in August.
For the OG event. And so Matt put this together where there was 50 spots total for people to basically come hang out, get trained, learn about the machines, hang out with Jason Rose, Dylan, for a whole weekend. There's going to be food and drinks and all that involved that we can do and have fun. But doing that is going to it's going to be difficult because they have this barbecue place there that is just heavenly.
So
it also ain't cheap.
It also wasn't cheap. My plate may have been $60. I'm not quite sure.
Just in case you guys are wondering what kind of eater Anthony is.
I was pretty hungry that day. But
you got like 3.5 pounds of meat.
That was about 3.5 pounds of meat. You're right. That was a lot more brisket than I thought. So, but we have that coming up. We have a couple more events coming up.
Yeah, I got UK trip, which it'll be hard. Probably pretty good. Jeff and I are pretty good at that, but I'm still, it's travel mode. Like even if I'm on an airplane, I got to have snacks. Like I got to have.
Be prepared.
Yeah. So it's just, that part's hard.
Yeah. So this week we have some other things planned. So we're going to try to get some more product videos out there. We need to focus on getting towel videos, more things out there for people to reference. We've been so busy with other things that are typical what's in store videos and things like that have kind of been put on hold, and we do have some new stuff that we wanted to share with you. And then of course we need to start focusing on our videos around the PNS product line that we have. So everything from bead maker that have questions about that, anything that we can do to answer that and help you. I mean, after our phone call with Bob and Dave, we learned so much along the product line of things that we didn't know, that we want to relay some of that information to you guys.
And one of the fun things is this weekend I got me a little steamer, not steamer, but a little carpet extractor.
Did you?
Little Bissell Spot Clean.
Yep. How is it?
A lot of mobile detailers use it. It's a great little tool for like $100.
Wow.
So really good entry for those of you that are listening that maybe don't have an extractor and want to get one. It's literally just a spot cleaner. So it only holds about 1 liter of water, but perfect for, like I bought it for around the house, but also you can do touch-up carpet. You can do carpets. You can do all that stuff.
Is it a brush or is it
It's got a little brush on the, it's got a brush on the end and then an actual extractor. So it sprays behind the brush, then the extractor, and just vacuums and sucks up all the water. But basically, we're going to use it on Dane's car. Yeah. We'll put down pre-soak, pre-treater. We'll use either Terminator or like Carpet Fabric Clean and Protect, which if you use a pre-treater, you don't really need to use much. But we'll spray, scrub, and then we'll extract your carpets and your seats and stuff.
And that'll make it accessible for anybody. So people watching the Volvo series can look and go, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, you go. I picked mine up at Shopco for $100. Yeah. And it's a great little tool, and it's got a little inline heater. So it'll actually, you put in warm water, and then it turns it into hot water.
Nice.
Oh, so cool. You can let it run for 5 minutes, but it takes about 5 minutes to heat up.
Yeah.
But once it goes, you got hot water, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to use that. So that'll be one thing also added to the video series on the Volvo series that we can look forward to.
People are really enjoying those. So
those are really fun videos, and we have so many videos on the back burner that we're still needing to get edited.
Yeah,
Dane's I'm in the middle of the trip video.
On the trip video, and the trip video is so much fun. I really hope that more people, maybe you guys listening, have seen our previous trip videos and how much fun we have making them, and kind of giving you guys the experience to maybe think, if that's something that you want to do down the road, and if this is a trip that you want to take. And I think Dane's doing such a good job with this one, portraying what the East Coast was like for us, us traveling out there, and maybe, you'll see some stuff and say, well, hey, I want to go visit Simonize, or I want to go, visit Detailer's Domain. I want to go look at all these places and see what it's like.
Well, and it's one thing to have us like on the podcast where we told you about our experiences and we got to kind of relive it that way, but this is kind of more through our eyes, what was happening at the time, so you can kind of get that feel of it. It's just, two sides of the same coin.
Well, and my dad was like super excited that we went to Fantomworks, and then he was like looking through the photos, and he was like, I hope they got to meet Dan. And then he saw that picture of us standing there with Dan, and he was like, I started to cry.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow, Dad, thanks. Like,
You're actually wearing the Dan.
I am. I'm wearing the Dan shirt today, so pretty sweet.
What's the back of that thing look like so you can
Looks the same as this logo, just with the red.
Oh, okay.
If you could see that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think I had it on last week.
Dane was wearing his last week.
Maybe I'll wear mine next week.
Ooh, yeah.
Mine was different.
Exactly. He got the Route 66, right?
I did, yeah. Mine's got the classic cars on the back.
And then I wore my Detailer's Domain shirt Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I took my other one, the iDetail, home and washed it, so I got to put that on this week.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. I also, what I did this weekend is I forgot to mention, it's not really super exciting. I bought my first 6-foot ladder.
Nice. High five.
Oh,
welcome
man.
to becoming you're well on your way to becoming a father and husband.
No, I'm like checking out at the store. I look at this thing and I'm like so proud. I'm sitting there like, man, this is a nice ladder, 260 pound, weight limit. I'm like, this should be good.
You're
for
like,
tools.
I can climb on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change out lights.
I'm like, Katie can hand me stuff to put up in our storage, and all this stuff. I'm like, this is amazing.
Just wait till you get a 10-footer.
Yeah. See, I'm looking. Well,
that'll be the next one. You'll have a 6-foot and a 10-foot.
Yeah. Well, because I was looking at the price, I'm like 3-foot ladders, a 3-foot ladder was $54. The 6-foot ladder was $55. I'm like, why do I need a 3-footer? Why would I buy a 3-footer when I can just buy this 6-footer, right? And so
some people just really need a 3-footer.
Well, you know, but it was one of those
but
things.
they price it that way, so.
Like, Dane, do you have a ladder at your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 6-foot.
That was one of the things that I think you didn't even realize I didn't have until my light bulb went out. I'm like, how do I? Wait, where's my ladder? But I don't have a ladder. I don't own a ladder.
Katie, do you have a ladder?
Yeah, I'm like, Katie, give me a boost. Grab me. I'm going up to the ceiling.
That's because, like, in my garage, I have, like, you know, hanging platforms from the ceiling that I store stuff on, and you know, little things like that. And there's like a little decor shelf that's up above, you know, in the living room and stuff. And so I had to be able to get to those.
I was thinking too. I mean, even doing you know, like side job details and stuff like that. If anybody comes over to my house, because I have extremely tall ceilings in my garage. I have super tall ceilings, and I've had some cars in there where I couldn't get up to the roof. And I know a lot of guys, they'll buy the platforms that they stand on.
I have one of those as well. Get one. It's great.
The little scaffolding platforms.
Get one of those, the little gorilla ones. They're awesome. I like the gorillas because they're built a little stronger than the Shurelines.
I like
or
to be able
to
to trust what I'm standing on.
The gorilla is nice, and it's inexpensive, and you'll use it. I have one of those. My parents bought me one as like a housewarming present. I've used it so much just around the house because it takes the place of a step stool. Or bringing in a 3-foot ladder or a small 6-foot. It'll leave the 6-foot, you know, for something, but then you've got a platform that basically in most of your houses, if you're like Anthony and I, you can basically touch the ceiling when you stand on those. So
no, because I remember so Brian over at Gearhead Detailing, when I was over there shooting videos with him and hanging out at his shop, he has a couple of those, and I remember I was always finding myself sitting on it like it was a bench.
Yeah, that's what we did at my shop.
I had all of my stuff stored on there, right? So I had all of my equipment, and he had his detailing stuff on one. And so what he would do is he would say, I stand on it when I'm working on a bigger vehicle, but he's like, I also sit on it too.
When you're polishing.
As like a seat when I'm polishing.
Yep,
and
that's what we did.
It's super comfortable for, you know, for times that I don't want to be on the stool or anything like that, wheeling around. So really cool tool, and I think you can get them for, what, $50?
Yeah, they're cheap. They're not bad at all.
Get them over your local
so I've got
store.
one. I love that thing. It's like, but we did it. Matt and I got 2 of them, put them on each side of the cars, and we'd be working, and it really comes in handy. You don't realize how much you use that. But good job on the 6-foot ladder. That's killer.
Well, I'm excited because now I can get up into my, because, you know, everybody has their overhead storage of their garage, right? You have your little
I don't.
crawl space.
I have 2 rooms on top of my garage.
Oh, you do. So not everybody has one of these, I guess. But so we have one of those crawl space areas, right? And me and Katie got in, I don't want to say an argument, but we had
went to go sleep up there.
Well, I said, hey, this is where my family's always stored stuff up in our crawl space. We've always put boards down, right, up there to where you can walk up there and put boxes of your seasonal stuff, like Christmas lights, things like that you don't want out in the garage. And she's like, well, isn't that a fire hazard? And I'm like, well, it could.
No,
I mean, it could be. I mean,
is there anything electrical?
If it's a fire hazard there, whatever you're putting in there, it's a fire hazard anywhere.
But
because it's not any more likely to catch on fire there than it is
isn't there a bunch
elsewhere.
of fiberglass and a bunch of, you know, everything else up there that could catch on fire? And she
bunch
was
of
like,
wood.
Bunch of wood. Yeah, wood too. And she's like, well, you have a point, but is that something that, you know, there's just going to be anything electrically? I'm like, no, it's just going to be a bunch of, you know, whatever, totes and things. So she was like, all right, okay.
He's up there throwing in like a Van de Graaff machine.
So I need to go and grab a bunch of boards and make some platforms and
so
things like that.
I just went to Home Depot and had them rip. I've measured my opening.
They'll do that for you.
And then just had them rip a 4x8 sheet of plywood while I was there.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that way I didn't have to do it when I got home.
Yeah.
And I just grabbed somebody and said, can you rip this into like 17-inch? Because I think my opening was like 20 inches diagonal or whatever.
That used to be one of my jobs when I worked
so
there.
I called Dane, and he came over, and he worked on the tool, but ripped 18-inch section. It just ripped the board in 18 inches, and then I just had the floor.
Yeah.
Because then I could just take my car and throw them in the back of the...
Most people just, do you hammer those in? Do you take a hammer?
No, you just set them up.
Oh, you just set them?
Because you just go across the cross beams on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Because I did that at our house, mostly because I had to replace our attic fan.
Gotcha.
And so I needed those to stand on so I didn't fall through ceiling.
But I really want to clean up my garage.
But you can do that, set those up.
Because I have all these boxes of, I have, racking and things like that, but I have things like car parts I'm not going to dip back into for any particular reason. I have Christmas lights, seasonal clothing and things like that, I mean, there's no reason I have it up there. And I really want to clean up the garage and get that stuff moved out and reorganize some things. So I think that's what I'll probably do maybe this weekend. Will be my
I tried. Plan. We got totes emptied. Now we have a bunch of empty totes, and I've got a bunch of boxes.
Yeah.
So, and I've got a new shed there that I need to clean out.
Oh.
So once I clean that, then I can put some of the like holiday stuff, and then I got to empty my storage unit and bring all that down.
Yeah.
I need a little truck. That's what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were moving into a house that was empty, so you're putting your things into it.
Putting all my stuff into the garage.
Okay.
Is what I did. Because we couldn't sleep in the house.
Yeah.
So I've slowly been emptying the garage as we've been unpacking.
Okay.
But I don't have my cars in the garage yet.
Yeah, it sounds like you need like an S10 or something like that.
That's what I need. A little S10 or a little Sonoma. So
a little Mighty Max.
I don't want a Mighty Max. My brother had one.
Just pick one up for like $300 off Craigslist.
That's what I'm looking.
We'll see what comes soon enough. But
Nate bought a pretty sweet little S10 though.
Yeah.
It's
a real old man truck.
Yeah,
like,
it's perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, there's Cooper.
Oh, there's Cooper. Yeah.
Hope you guys heard that.
I think you can hear the bark. I think he's letting us know that it's time to wrap things up.
Oh man, we're almost to 1 hour. We just got to hit that 1 hour.
We're about to hit an
We're
hour.
so close. It's not even funny.
Dane, by the time you wrap it up, we're gonna hit an hour.
I think so.
Okay, I think the guys listening get it. But yeah, just once again, reminder to everybody that we will be creating a new YouTube channel exclusively for the podcast.
The Rag Company
Cast.
Podcast YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Right. The title is just The Rag Company Podcast.
I like
That's it.
I dig it.
All right. So I'll be putting that together this next week, and we'll start putting stuff up starting at episode 50. So that's it.
Checking out.
All right, guys. So if you're watching this, you're probably on YouTube. And if you're listening, you might be on iTunes or shoutengine.com at The Rag Company Podcast. Be sure to tell a friend. Rate us on iTunes. We always appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please subscribe.
Yeah, please do.
So, all right, guys, this is us saying goodbye.
Peace out.